Visual research. Visualization of games. The role of atmosphere in the game. Hypothesis and purpose. Hypothesis. The atmosphere of the game, created through visual elements, graphics, lighting, color palette, and world design, significantly affects the player's emotional perception of the gameplay, his involvement and overall experience. Goals. To explore the influence of visual elements on the perception of the atmosphere of the game. Analyze how different visual styles and effects affect the emotional perception of players. Evaluate the relationship between visualization and gameplay experience, including engagement and emotional response. Develop recommendations for improving the visual atmosphere to enhance the gaming experience. The atmosphere of the game. The atmosphere of the game is a combination of visual, sound, mechanical, and plot elements that create a certain mood and affect the perception of the player. Visual components such as graphics, color palette, lighting, textures, and style play an important role in shaping this atmosphere. They not only add aesthetics, but also enhance the emotional response, immersing the player in the world of the game. Let's look at how different aspects of visualization affect perception. Style and art direction. Games with a unique artistic style, for example, cel shading, minimalism, pixel art, offer new ways of perceiving and interacting with the world. The visualization style can become not only a distinctive feature of the game, but also an important part of its theme. For example, retro-styled games often evoke nostalgic feelings, and abstract or surreal elements can create an atmosphere of mystery and uncertainty. Graphic style. Different styles, realistic, cartoon, minimalistic, pixel art, etc., can evoke different emotions. Realistic graphics can enhance the feeling of being in the real world, and abstract or stylized images can create a unique atmosphere, making the game stand out from others. Color palette. Colors play a key role in creating a mood. Warm colors, orange, red, yellow, can create a feeling of comfort, joy, or aggression, while cold colors, blue, green, purple, can set you up for calm, introspection, or anxiety. Games with a gloomy, dark palette often evoke feelings of hopelessness or fear, while bright, saturated colors can create an atmosphere of optimism and fun. Emotional coloring. The color palette and graphics style play a key role in setting the player up in a certain way. Bright and saturated colors can create a feeling of lightness and joy, for example, in games for the whole family, while dull or cold shades are often associated with tragedy, loneliness, or tension, which is often used in horror or dark fantasies. Lighting. Dynamic lighting games can significantly change perception. For example, dark, poorly lit scenes can enhance the atmosphere of horror or tension, and bright locations create a feeling of freedom and joy. Psychologically, lighting affects the perception of space and objects, making some elements of the game more visible or hidden. World detail. The level of elaboration of the environment also affects perception. High detail can contribute to a deep immersion in the game, creating an effect of realism and persuasiveness of the world, while minimalistic or simplified visual solutions may emphasize other aspects of the game, such as mechanics or plot. The high degree of detail of the environment helps the player to immerse himself in the game world more easily. Carefully drawn locations, textures, and lighting create a sense of reality. Even if the game is fantastic, this contributes to a deeper identification with what is happening, which affects the perception of the plot and emotions. Animation and dynamics. The fluidity of animation, the movements of characters and objects also affect perception. For example, smooth animations can enhance the effect of reality, and sharp, Jerky movements can create a feeling of anxiety or discomfort. Fast dynamics can cause arousal or tension, and slow, thoughtful movement can cause a feeling of peace or concentration. Physical effects, such as realistic animations, object movements, destruction, or interaction with the environment, can add an additional layer of a sense of verisimilitude and immersion. In games with high-quality graphics, such as action shooters or adventure games, visual details often play a major role in creating a sense of realism and epicness of what is happening. Interface design elements: a user-friendly and beautiful interface that fits seamlessly into the overall style of the game can help the player better navigate the process and not be distracted from immersion. On the other hand, an overloaded or fuzzy interface can create discomfort and destroy the atmosphere. Interactivity and dynamics: changes in visual elements, such as weather conditions, time of day, or season, help enhance the perception of the game world. Changing the lighting or animation of destruction also affects how players feel within the gameplay, increasing the feeling of dynamism and engagement. Music and sound design: although this is not part of the visualization in the literal sense, sound and music are closely related to the visual aspects and enhance the atmosphere of the game. For example, changing music or sounds depending on events on the screen enhances emotional perception, makes moments tense or relaxing. Visualizing a game can significantly change a player's perception and attitude. The atmosphere created by graphics, world design, color schemes, and animation can add depth and emotional saturation even to a game that may seem boring by mechanics or gameplay. If visual elements harmoniously complement the plot, music, and the overall concept of the game, they can create a unique atmosphere that will attract attention and make the player perceive the process as more interesting. Good visualization can hide or mitigate gameplay flaws, as well as enhance immersion in the game world, making it more exciting and multi-layered. An example is games with a strong visual style, such as Journey or Limbo, where the atmosphere and visual solutions themselves largely determine the gaming experience, despite the rather simple or even monotonous mechanics. The atmosphere of the game is not only visual elements, but also their harmonious combination with music, sound effects, and gameplay mechanics. It affects the emotional perception of the player, creating either a sense of satisfaction or tension, thereby exploring the breadth of human emotions and perception.